240Z project, and we're reaching a milestone at this point. I've got all of my patching done. Everything has been marglassed or everglassed. I am going to start sanding some of this stuff down and doing some body work. So that's what's going on here. I kind of finished off my trunk lid with a little bit of putty. So I got that skim coated over. Got my deck lid spoiler fitting really good. I cleaned up all my marglass that's on my rear body panel and put my finishing plastic on all the areas where I had marglass before. And now you'll see over here, I've got my quarter all covered with body filler. Now you'll notice, if you can see it, you can see my line here, and then you're gonna see a line here. My body line is here, you'll see a slight line there, and then you'll see a very defined line in my wheel opening, in my flare. That's the way I want my body work, the way that everything should blend together. So what I did was, when I applied my filler, I applied some tape around here, and I applied tape here and here to define that line. So like when I start sanding this, I will sand this top section, I will sand this bottom section, being cognizant of this line and having a nice line there. I'll work this into the door area over here, and then finally I'll work my flare into this. But now I don't want, like, you know, like a flattened out, like bulbous looking thing. And no offense to anybody that has flares like that, that's fine. It's just that I don't want that. I want it to look like the flare is an actual body line on the car, which it is. It's just got to all be blended in. Same thing over here in my front. You can see where I've got just this little bit. What I'll end up with is I'll end up with some filler all along here and along this edge, so that I can have a nice smooth transition, but yet still have somewhat of a definition around my wheel opening. That's what I'm working on next, and that's what will be happening for the next few days anyways. Okay, so as we continue on the 240Z project, I've knocked down my my everglass, my fiberglass reinforced filler that covered all my seams on that side and on the rear body panel. Now I'm going to move over here. I'm going to knock this down with the big DA and get it ready to actually apply some filler. And then I will move on from there. So we'll get this knocked down, we'll get some fresh filler on it, and then pretty much our back half, like our 2/4 and our rear body and our deck lid, are all basically just going to be, you know, sanding and contouring filler so that everything looks right. That's my goal for today. Okay, so I knocked down all of my marglass or everglass, all on the underneath of the car, got things all smoothed up, and now I've applied some Evercoat Rage. I haven't done all of it, but I'm really focusing on the main body now. I'm gonna roll it over. You'll be able to see I did the rocker panels, I did both quarters, and next thing is gonna be happening is a lot of sanding. So I got my rocker panel down here, juiced up. I'm working on my quarter panel here like I showed you before. The rear body panel has been juiced up. The top of the deck lid smoothed over, and then this is my other quarter panel. I got that all set, and what I did was I just hit a few of these spots over here with some of the leftover filler that I had while I was doing the quarter. And what's gonna happen is a lot of sanding, super exciting. All right, so we're starting with the body filler project here. I got everything covered with body filler. I roughed out this panel, and then I put the filler on it, and I knocked that down and shaped it up pretty good. I got a few areas that were a little low, some pinholes and stuff like that, so I hit it with the second coat there, along with the stuff down here on the bottom on this rocker panel area. And I got around the corner over here pretty, you know, that looks pretty good to me. So tomorrow I will work this some more, and I think after tomorrow, this particular quarter over here, I think will be pretty darn good, and then we can move over to the other side. I mean, this deck lid and this rear body panel, that's pretty quick stuff, but I got a whole project going on over here on this quarter panel over here, so it'll be a bit of a go, but this week should take care of that. All right, so this is part of the less glamorous part of doing this bodywork stuff, but I've got this quarter is pretty well all shaped out. Had a few divots and low spots I needed to retouch. I skimmed this door where we did our all of our pick and filing, and used the stud gun on it. So I get that skim coated there, and we'll get this smoothed out tomorrow, and then I'll probably apply some metal glaze to this just to make sure it's nice and smooth. But you can see, look down it, I mean, you're getting the right kind of look how this is going to be. So we'll be moving over to the other side. I got my deck lid, pretty well shaped up there, and we'll have to grind this out and get this shaped up over here. And that's all it is, just sanding and reapplying. It's not really that interesting to talk about or even watch. Okay, so we got a little update going on here. I've got most of the body work done on the rocker panel and the quarter and the door. This is down to just some glaze coat. You can see little tiny spots that I've touched up, little low spots, maybe a few pinholes. Right here, I'm trying to make sure that my edge on my line is nice and right. So we're looking pretty good over here on this side, and this side over here, it's roughed out. These spots here are some spots that needed a little bit more. This is kind of a glaze that I put on this side, so pretty much by the time I sand it, the door should be all set. This quarter should be pretty close, and not much on the rear body panel or the deck, so we'll basically almost have the whole back half of the car done, and I'm waiting for the hood, and then of course we've got the underneath that has to be done. So still plenty of work, but sanding away, chipping along. Okay, just coming on to give you a little update on the 240Z project. I got all my body work pretty well all worked out for the rockers, these doors, the rear body panel, the rear deck is pretty much all set. This right quarter is good, although I needed to doctor it up in this area just a whisker so that my fuel door fit really nicely. But everything else in the rocker and door area is fine. And now I am moving into working on the roof. So I'll roll this. Alright, so here's our roof. Yesterday I went around with my marker. I marked out all my spots where I had some damage, and then I worked it over with my my ring hammer or ring dolly and my heel dolly here. And after that, I put a little bit of filler on these areas. I can knock this stuff down and get that all set. I got these factory body seams that I just dressed over a little bit with some filler over the lead. That's what these areas are here. And up here is where the lead was a little rough from the sandblasting, so I decided I'd smooth those up nicely there. And the roof really is the last big piece. I did spend some time working on the underneath as well, and I started smoothing over some of our patches that we put on the floor, these floor areas here, DA'd this stuff down. I did this, spare tire well, but I still have some edges to take care of. I still have the inside of the wheel opening, so I've got some serious sanding left to be doing, but little by little, we are going along. Okay, so I got my spoiler fitted, I fitted my taillights, I got my rear body finish panel all in there, and I think this looks pretty darn good. I am going to have to make a few adjustments, and I got to drill some holes in the top of this to mount it. But other than that, I think it's starting to look pretty good. So I got my 280Z project in polyester primer. I used Fiberglass Evercoat's Featherfill G2, and I'll give you a walk around. You can see what it looks like. We'll be blocking it out, probably let it sit for a week or so, and then I'll start blocking it out. But here we go. For more on my build, follow me on my YouTube channel, Troy Kane V-Twins to V8s, and you can see the entire build along with all the other stuff I do around here. So tune in. Thank you.